Hi, good morning. Yes, this is true. I come from two families nga wala gid maglisod buyag. I grew up in Cebu. Our house still exists in Guadalupe, which I posted. I'm a granddaughter of a judge. We own the very first sinugba in Cebu. That's my family. There was another one in Tomas Moreto. That's my dad's side. Even my grandfather, the father of my grandmother, has a street in Mandaue, the E.O. Perez Street. And yes, he's related to the Uanos. On my mom's side here in Butuan City, I grew up in a 1-hectare house, valued at 30,000 per square meter. You do the math. I grew up to luxury because I'm the first apo of a very wealthy family here in Butuan City. And yes, though the businesses are no longer existent, the buildings still do. And yes, they are buildings in prime lots within the city of Butuan. It still has my grandparents' family name on them. But yes, I did leave that. Because I grew up realizing that just because you have money, you also attract insecurity. You can't have real friends because they're going to prejudge you for being wealthy. They're going to have insecurities against you. That's why I've always been very simple. I've always been very different to my siblings. I have a sister who's a beauty queen, remember? I have a sister who's a beauty queen, who's wealthy, and who likes designer duds, while I don't. And simple ragid ko ever since. Kasi ako, nagdako ko nga I wear stuff from Baclaran. I wear stuff from Baclaran because we own a department store. Munang dili jud big deal ang magpadato-dato. Because compared to my grandparents, I am not rich. That's the gauge. My grandparents lived off of their interest in the bank. I don't. But I make sure that my son is wealthier than me. I make sure that he understands that yes, he does have a big house, but the one we have is ours, which I built. Dili man nga dili ko ganahan sa super rich. It's just that I've been to that life and it did not make me happy. And I left that life in 2020. Actually, my mom and I had a conversation recently. And I told her that leaving was really one of the things that built me as a person. That's why I'm happy when my siblings decide to do the same. Because all I have now are things that I built, that I acquired for my son, and something that I value as a person. Not being wealthy because I inherited something from my grandparents. I want to inherit their hard work and, of course, their dominance in business, which I did. Because the businesses that I built for myself, which I all closed down because I focused on being a wife. But I can open a business anytime because it's all in here. And I'm capable of making money because it's all in here. Dili man tinuod nga dili ko ganahan madato. Kitsa may dili ganahan madato, but I just don't like to be pressured by so much wealth and that you have to impress other people instead of impressing yourself. My family goes to international trips all the time in business class. It's not a big deal. And that's what I grew up to. Dili siya big deal. So di such a big deal nga magbarko, which we did as a family growing up. Because we'd spend summers and Christmases in Cebu. Kakibaw ka no, ang mga tinuod dato at pakialam. Have you seen them? They don't really care what brand you wear. They don't care if nagunsa ka diha, whether nagbarko ka or di. Only the poor people nga alang-alang nga makuratan o kwarta ang mulok down, ana. Ako, I grew up that we made bookends out of money bundles. Because sa dako sa mong halin sa una, sa among mga supermarket, 1 million in the 80s and 90s wasn't a big deal. Even having 10-wheeler trucks at home isn't a big deal. I grew up with 3 tennis courts in our home. Tennis courts! And this home still exists here in Butuan City. Even my grandparents has a 8-lot mausoleum that they don't use yet. Literal. In one of the most expensive lugnanans here in Butuan City, the Oriya land. They have 8 lots in a prime area. Even bigger than the area of our mayor's mother. So kanang bitawng ing-ana, kanang bitawng natural diamonds nga di makakurat. So muna akong pasabot, nga kanang mga tao nga mulok down nako ba. So you want me to prove I'm wealthy? I was born wealthy. Napakustumoy sa kinatumyan sa akong amahan. Plano pa lang ko sa akong mama, dato na ko bes. And I ain't adjusting for you. Mayong kaghambugira ko, come to Butuan. Learn about the Mancao family. Yeah, kasi inyong i-focus ang akong uncle nga napriso. So si, bisan sa kadatua akong grandparents, gipapriso gyapon ang ilang anak nga nakasala. And that's not even the Mancao of Compostela. My Tito Cesar, that's a different family. And yes, we're also related to them because it was him, my Tito Cesar, my Tito Archie Gamboa, and actually Mayor Benji Magalang that taught me how to shoot a gun at 6 years old. That's the kind of history I have. That even Ping Lacson is my mother's kumpare for one of my Uncle Cesar's sons. Ing anak nga level best. Kanang bitawang quiet. And yes, I know my mother would always give me shit for being this simple. Kay dili jud ko artist mga gamit or di jud ko ma-flaunt. For what? To prove what? Labi na gid sa una when I live off my grandmother's allowance alone, that I wasn't making my own money. Maulaw ko. Mo-flex because that ain't my money. It's easy money. Legal, but easy. So now that I still get an allowance, it's everything I spend for Tony. It's not much, but it's more than twice the income of a normal person. Twice or thrice, because it's 80,000 a month. So muna kong pasabot bitaw, like, ay, bis hindi ko magtrabaho best, dili ko maunsa for life. Maningkamot lang ko because I have a son that looks at me and I want him to understand how hard work works. And I just like the feeling that I built myself out of nothing in 2020. Because when I left my 1-hectare house, I wrapped my son in a blanket. And I had 3,000 pesos in beauty derm products that I had to barter so I can live in a place in Gengona. And this is novelty because it's true. How else will I understand who I serve if never ko naglisod? And I like it na naglisod ko. It's because it taught me character. It taught me how to work hard, actually. Because I worked hard before in our family business, but lahi ra gyud nang mamugas na kabes para sa imong pamilya. Lahi na gyud na. So dili man nga di ko ganahan. Of course, I like the perk of being wealthy. I like random gifts of shoes so that I can wear it to my mother's birthday. So we match. Diba? That's 56,000 times 4. Because it's her birthday. Or the fact that she will drop $500,000. Because it's her birthday. Kanang anak bitaw, like... Or the fact that does your mother have a vault in 2 banks just for her jewelry? Or my grandmother has 3 for her jewelry? And yet we're just in this all day. Because that's what I learned. Super mega dato ka, but you're not happy. Because the richer you are, the bigger your problems. And that's one of the things I really don't want. Because number 1, ug dato kayo ka and you don't know how to manage your money, mawa nagkalit. If you're so busy being rich but then impressing other people, mawa imong kwarta kay dili na makabright sa ano imong paggasto ug invest. Ang importante I invest in my son, nga naman di magkagidlay ra ko. And besides, Tony had fun. It's me teaching him to be independent and dili siya mag-inarte ug di siya magpamati. Because what is it nga dato kay ka pero tagaw sa ka? Like to us, TWG is normal tea. Kana bitang ingana? Like the white series from TWG? That's normal tea. Or the fact that caviar is a snack with creme fraiche, but I don't get creme fraiche normally here in Butuan. Or the fact that nongki Japanese food is my Jollibee if I feel like it. That's comfort. Ingana unta. Diba? Like, it's not a big deal. Like Rimowas. Like my family travels in Rimowas. They're gonna get new trunks. So I just want my old one back. Or the fact that I started to ride a plane at 6 months old because I was born in Cebu, so they flew me via Philippine Airlines to Butuan City in 1988. You can check when our airport opened. Or the fact that I've been to Hong Kong more times than I could ever imagine because my parents are master packers who buy our goods from there. Kananging anak bitaw, munang di ko tagaw. Ay magkatawa ko because ang mga manginsulto nako, subidahon. Yes, nakakwarta, but late. Ako, whether I like it or not, gistoryahan nga rin na namo sa akong mom recently that my grandmother is, rewriting her will for my inheritance. And I said I don't want it because more importantly, it's Tony who needs it, not me. Because I need help, pag college na niya, not now. And then now that I married somebody who's also wealthy but quiet, I'm set for life. And all of you masuko na ko, nagkalisod pa. Gets? Ingat!